It was a tough start for Mike Pence as he was forced to defend his record as head of the coronavirus task force, considering people were so scared he was a disease vector himself that they installed a plexiglass shield around him.
The American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country. Can you imagine if you knew on January 28th, as opposed to March 13th, what they knew, what you might have done to prepare? They knew and they covered it up.
Wow, bold of Senator Harris to assume that President Trump can process information in less than a month and a half.
Absolutely. Like any decent American, I think I would have simply stockpiled more bullets in Charmin, but she has a point.
Now, Congressman, is it possible that Pence just got too busy with the other myriad of things vice presidents do to really focus in on this COVID thing?
Well, he certainly didn't have a good explanation for the handling of COVID-19. There are 7 million Americans infected. 208,000 Americans have died. 1 in 5 small businesses have closed, and they still don't have a plan to defeat the virus. I think Kamala Harris made it very clear that she and Joe Biden have a very detailed plan to defeat this virus, to keep the American people safe.
And I do think Kamala made a valid point. Americans could have had 2 extra months to practice screaming at an elderly Walmart greeter for offering them a squirt of hand sanitizer.
Well, come on, Pence is a baller for this. It would have been easy to do a good job and show up Trump, but Pence knows his job is to not steal the spotlight by showing basic competence. If your dude's not playing wingman for you like that, steal his wallet and drop him off at the swamp.
Yeah, too true. Too true. You know, I was here in the arena, and it was fierce right off the top. Honestly, I was hoping for 10 minutes of small talk just to warm things up, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Now, moving on. When Senator Harris was asked if she shared American skepticism about a COVID vaccine, she took the risky stance of opting out of whatever cocktail of meds Trump inevitably dubs Trump Awesome Vaccine 3000.
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it. Absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Well, Kamala Harris officially cemented herself to the American people as a pro-science candidate. Congressman, is there any recovering from this blunder?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true that the president has done everything he can to undermine the science. He's really sidelined the public health professionals, silenced them when they have disagreed with him or tried to be or when they've been honest about the gravity of this pandemic and about the right way to respond to it. And I think Senator Harris was absolutely right. We need to ensure that this vaccine research proceeds as quickly as humanly possible, but it has to be left to the scientists.
Well, listen, Trump can do whatever he wants to me. And if he wants to be fancy and call it a vaccine, more power to him. Steal my molars in my sleep, marry my wife, whatever. I'm not going to be closed-minded about it.
Absolutely. You know, I'm here in the arena, and I'm pretty disappointed that neither candidate gave us any clue as to how long the vaccine syringe's needles will be. You know, some of us are single-issue voters, and we don't know what to do.
That's right. He passed out through his entire teen years
Scary.
after he saw a needle. But he's doing so good as our field correspondent. And then Americans were reminded of an ancient story from 10 days ago that had mostly slipped their minds, the fact that their president is a wildly indebted tax cheat.
Joe Biden has been so incredibly transparent, and certainly by contrast, the president has not. Both in terms of health records, but also let's look at taxes. We now know Donald Trump owes and is in debt for $400 million. And just so everyone is clear, when we say in debt, it means you owe money to somebody.
Look, we spent a solid 2 days discussing the fact that our president doesn't pay taxes, but now we've moved on to the fact that our president is likely dying and doing his job on mind-altering steroids. Look, let bygones be God. Let that happen.
Now, Congressman, do you remember this tax story? I mean, I recall hearing something about this back, I don't know, maybe like 15 years ago. I don't know. Can you help me out here?
Look, every year Americans scrimp and save so they can meet their tax obligations. And we learned that the president paid $750 for the past 4 years, much less than a school teacher, a police officer, a firefighter. He worked the system to avoid paying his fair share, which is consistent with what the president has done. The tax bill that he put forward was to help people at the very top, help rich people avoid paying their fair share, while hardworking middle-class families, pay more than their fair share.
Well, hold on a second. I mean, how low is it of Democrats to hit Trump on something like taxes while he has COVID? Everyone knows Trump found God in the hospital, and now he lives a life of a Christian virtue.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yes.
Now, Mike Pence expressed hope that his party recklessly jamming their Supreme Court justice nominee through before the election would be met with the respect it deserved.
President Trump and I could not be more enthusiastic about the opportunity to see Judge Amy Coney Barrett become Justice Amy Coney Barrett. And she's a brilliant woman, and she will bring a lifetime of experience and a sizable American family to the Supreme Court of the United States. And our hope is, in the hearing next week, unlike Justice Kavanaugh received with treatment from you and others, we hope she gets a fair hearing.
Wow. My condolences to Merrick Garland's family of 4 who are sitting at home right now wondering if their father would be sitting on the bench right now if only they'd been a little more sizable.
To be fair, it would be pretty messed up if the senators started questioning Amy Coney Barrett about Brett Kavanaugh's sexual misconduct allegations. You know, is that the plan, Congressman?
Well, I hope the plan is we should be thinking about the fairness to the American people. Let's be very clear what this is about. The President of the United States is in court right now, along with his Republican colleagues, in a piece of litigation intended to take away the Affordable Care Act, to have it declared unconstitutional, which will result in tens of millions of Americans losing their health coverage, millions of Americans with pre-existing conditions, 7 million more with COVID now, losing their coverage. And they're in court right now. And what they want to do is, because that oral argument is right after the election, they want to ensure that another justice is on the court to add to the votes to declare the ACA unconstitutional.
You know, when I think about the way Justice Brett Kavanaugh was treated in his confirmation hearings, my blood starts to boil like somebody just told me they don't think I can slam 3 gallons of Orange Crush in under 5 seconds. Making a man talk about the evil shit he's done and be held accountable for it? What? What is this, a trial?
Okay, this is ridiculous. They need to at least hold off this confirmation until Christmas so that when Barrett gets confirmed, I can do a spit take with peppermint schnapps.
Absolutely. Did they announce when Christmas is this year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on a Taco Tuesday this year.
Christmas on a Taco Tuesday? That only happens once every 200 years.
Now, moving on, Senator Calm Like a Kamala Harris pressed Pence on his administration's disregard for the safety of our brave men and women protecting the oil industry.
Public reporting that Russia had bounties on the heads of American soldiers. And you know what a bounty is? It's somebody puts a price on your head and they will pay it if you are killed. And Donald Trump had talked at least 6 times to Vladimir Putin and never brought up the subject. Joe Biden would never do that.
Yes, Joe Biden would never do anything.
Congressman, no matter what side of the war you're on, can both parties at least come together on the disregard for human life?
Well, I think Senator Harris's point here is a really important one. The President of the United States, who likes to continue to say how much he reveres the military, learned of the bounties by the Russians on the heads of American soldiers. He spoke to Vladimir Putin on 6 occasions, never even raised the issue. And when this was reported in the New York Times, he said, "Oh, I never read the report. I didn't know anything about that." But even from the date of that New York Times reporting, the president still has done nothing about it.
Well, hold on a second. As someone with dozens of bounties on my head, Joe Biden has done absolutely nothing to help me. And thank God it's just on my head and not the rest of my body.
I think we're all kind of missing the big issue here, is that war isn't real. It's that thing from the movies. It's just that thing, that's that exciting thing from the movies.
No,
Everybody's
it's
got
real.
the thing and they're
Junior.
shooting at the other thing.
No, people get on flights and they go to other countries and then we fight them.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right.
But that said, it did come from the movies originally.
All right. Oh, okay.
All right, coming up, Mike Pence catches his reflection in the plexiglass and phones his pastor to find out if that counts as masturbation.